Hey y'all, Peggy Lynn Marchetti here at beautiful Madison Creek Farms, and today I'd like to share with you a recipe that uses some vegetables that are not as commonly known here in the United States, but that does not mean that they don't deserve a place in your garden or on your plate, because they are wonderful. This is a really simple, healthy, hearty recipe using some yard-long beans and some Malabar spinach. You are going to love this little recipe. So y'all come on back and let's get started cooking up this beautiful little saute. Hey y'all, welcome back. So I want to tell you guys a little bit about these vegetables, because these vegetables, like I said, are not as well known here in the United States as they are in a lot of other places, but they are absolutely delicious, and you're going to start seeing these in your FarmBox, your CSA, your local farm CSA, late summer, and you will also start seeing them at your local farmers markets. And I have been seeing them now here the last couple of years at farmers markets where they just weren't ever there before. So that's when you're going to find these. Now, these are yard-long beans, and these originated in Southeast Asia, and they traveled through India. They are really a subtropical vine. They are in the pea family, not the bean family. But these beans are really rich in vitamin B1 and vitamin B2, fiber and iron. They are nutrient dense. They have a lot of vitamin C for immunity health, so they're a really wonderful, healthy vegetable to use. Now this is Malabar spinach, and I know it's a little strange, but here's the funny part. Both of these, this is not actually in the spinach family. This is not in the bean family. Both of these are pseudo vegetables. But the Malabar spinach is a hot season vining, beautiful succulent green that has a tremendous amount of properties that mimic spinach. So they're really high in iron as well. Also, it is a subtropical plant that originated Southeast Asia and through going back into India. So you may have heard of Malabar spinach by some different names. You may have heard summer spinach, buffalo spinach, vining spinach, berry spinach. There's all kinds of different names. But what it has is these really beautiful heart-shaped leaves on this really succulent vine. And then it has these little berries. And as the summer goes, or as the season goes, they're going to get bigger and they turn dark in color, and they are edible as well. Now, this also is really rich in vitamin A, vitamin C, and calcium. So both of these vegetables pack a huge health punch. So they're both nutrient dense. But to get started on this little recipe, I need to go ahead and blanch these beans for a couple of minutes just to get them nice and tender for this little saute stir fry that we're going to do. And what you want to do is you want to take them, I'm going to go ahead and get my water boiling here, and I'm going to add a little bit of salt to this water just to get it nice and salty and hot. Like that. Don't need a whole lot. Go ahead and put the lid back on it. It's only going to take a couple of minutes to blanch these beans. And the reason that I'm doing that is because beans are a thicker vegetable than the rest of the things that I'm cooking. So they will take the longest to cook. I still want that kind of that tender crunch to them. So I do want that, but I just don't want them to be raw. Don't want them to have that raw. Now, a lot of people ask about this yard-long beans, about how they taste. Do they taste like a bean? Yes, they do. They also taste a little different from a bean. So they're both yes and both no. So let me just, y'all know, gotta clip up this hair here, get it out the way. So So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut these into bite-sized pieces because nobody, unless it's a French green bean, wants a big long green bean in this little thing. So just some bite-sized pieces. So these yard-long beans, as you can tell here, is a burgundy, a beautiful burgundy red color yard-long bean. Those are the two colors. And you really want to try to find them when they are kind of in this stage, this pencil stage, because once they get any bigger, then you may have heard the term leather britches, because what they will do is they will dry on the vine. And the bean, the pea inside, will keep getting larger. And they used to use these as leather britches, so they would dry them and they would stay in the pods, and they would store them for the winter. And this is one of those plants. The reason I really love this vegetable is that it is so versatile, because you can use it in this stage and then you can come back and use it when it's bigger and dry. So I've got my hot water going here. I'm going to turn that down just a little bit. Let's go ahead and blanch these beans. This is only going to take a couple of minutes. They're going to turn really bright green in this boiling water, and then you're just going to take them out and get ready for our little saute. Just that simple. So while those are cooking, I want to go ahead and get started on our onion, because these are the things that are going to flavor our saute. So just a little white onion, or yellow onion in this case. Just give it a peel. This one doesn't want to come apart. All right. I'm just going to cut it in half. Claw fingers back. And what what I want to do with this is I don't want to cut it. I don't want to dice it. I think I'm just going to make these really nice slithers. That will go well against the beans and my quinoa. So it'll give it actually a little bit more substance than just, so these nice, just little slithers is all I'm looking for. And you really, when you're going to do this, make sure that I just decided I was going to do it. So you want to make sure that you really cut the end of that onion off when you're going to cut slithers. Slithers. Beautiful. This will give me a nice bite of onion mixed in with my greens. Beautiful. All right. So they are cooking nicely. Get that fired back up really good. The next thing I'm going to do is start prepping our sweet bell pepper. Now you can use any pepper you want. I kind of like a little heat with this recipe too. I'm not going to do that on this one. I'm going to use my friend Pam, who has subscribed to our channel here on our Cooking on YouTube channel, has sent me this little, it's perfect for me. Perfect for me. So I'm going to put that on right now so I can keep my hands. So I want to go ahead and cut and dice up this beautiful orange bell pepper, and it's going to add not only a lot of flavor, but it's going to add a lot of color to this little saute stir fry. And the reason I'm calling it a saute stir fry is because I'm really going to cook it fast and hot, and I'm going to keep moving it around, which is the stir fry part. So it's with a lot of heat and keep moving it around. Or just, I think I'm going to have just a little bit more. So when you're cutting your peppers, the easiest way to cut is to cut around these seeds. So what I like to do is take the pepper and just cut around these seeds. So that way I'm not getting a lot of the garbage, the pepper garbage. I'm really just getting a nice meaty slice of pepper. It makes a cleanup a lot easier. And when you are cooking and are busy, like I know you are, any kind of tip to cut out a lot of the steps, I'm all for. If it's quick, it's mine. I love it. If it's easy, I like it. It's mine. Those are the recipes that I go for. I like healthy, quick, easy, simple, because those are the recipes that you can go back to time and time and time again and just refine them. You know, mix them up, make them a little different, but you just refine them as you go. So that's beautiful. That's what I want. And now I'm going to come in here with some garlic. Now, I know this is a crazy little thing here. And where did oh, here it is. Crazy little thing here. We just finished curing a bunch of garlic, so I have some of our cured garlic here. And I'm just, I can break it off of this stem. There we go. Doesn't want to let go. It still doesn't want to let go. Hello. Slap that around. Sometimes when garlic is really fresh, it's still tight in the bowl. I mean, look at that. Gosh, just gorgeous, but it's still a little tight in the bowl. It's harder to break apart. So it just takes a little bit more muscle and throwing stuff around. I mean, in my kitchen, just pop it, just like that, to get all of this skin off of it. Just one good whack with your knife is all it takes. Well, our green beans are looking beautiful and are ready to come out. So I'm just going to grab my lid and a nice colander. Take out my onion here and just go ahead and remove these. You only gonna cook these for just a minute, no longer than 2. Again, you want that tender crisp because you still want the crunch of this bean. You don't want to overcook it. You still want the crunch of it in this saute, but you just don't want to have the raw. So I'm just going to set those right here and remove, turn this off, and go ahead and remove this. And take this on out of here. All right. So we were dicing up these onions here, and now I'm going to start really getting into this garlic. My son-in-law showed me this little contraption when I was visiting with my daughter in South Carolina, and it is the coolest little thing. You just put your garlic clove in here, and then you run the wheels back and forth, and it minces your garlic just like that. It's just the coolest thing. So, and then you take the lid off, and there is your minced garlic. Perfecto. I love it. So I get another, I know, a kitchen gadget. Who would have ever thought? So let's go ahead and start getting our pan heated up. Now what I want to do here is, while I have this pan heating up, is I'm going to add a little bit of olive oil. But I'm also going to add a little bit of sesame oil. And the sesame oil, what the sesame oil is going to do is give this a little bit more flavor. Now you have to be careful with sesame oil. You don't want to use too much of it, especially toasted sesame oil. So So I'm just gonna use just a little bit. I'm just gonna use it for just a little bit more flavor, because at the end of this recipe, I'm gonna sprinkle some sesame seeds over top of it. You'll see, it's just so beautiful. So I'm letting that heat up. Into that, I wanna go ahead and add a little bit of cumin, just to flavor my oil. That I smell that sesame. It smells good. I'm gonna put a little bit of pepper in there, just like that. And then we're gonna let this heat up to get nice and hot. We're gonna toss in these onions and this garlic right in here and start getting those nice and tender. And then we're gonna start adding in more of our ingredients. So while I go ahead and get this chopped up and get this in here, we're gonna take a little break. Okay, our oil is heated up nicely. And again, you really want some high temperatures, because I want you to hear this. So that is what you want to hear when you have anything that hits your saute pan or your little wok. You really want to hear that nice sizzle, because that is going to mean that these vegetables are going to start cooking and they are not going to start soaking up a lot of oil. So that's the main thing here. I'm going to add just a little bit of salt to this, just to get it flavored up a little bit. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now I'm going to move on, and what I want to do is I want to start prepping this Malabar spinach. Now the thing with the Malabar is that you can use all of it. So what you want to do is you just want to take it and just give it some rough chop. Again, I'm looking for bite size. I don't want to overwhelm anybody with a big piece of spinach. And then when they get to this, for me, when it gets to this thicker stem here, I kind of just remove. I'm looking for more of the smaller stems, like these. And then you can just take them and just give them a chop. Now those leaves of this are going to really wilt down really nicely. See, look at how, like this guy. So I'm just going to take and just run my hand right over him and just remove the leaves. And then I can take this guy and just break him apart. Actually, that's a lot easier to do, is just break it apart with your hands. So again, just running my fingers across it, taking out any of the big stems. I really don't need those. And break that guy apart. Give him a rough chop. This little cutting board up here is just not as big. Yes, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. We're just gonna keep working on this. And then again, that's a smaller stem, can take that. Just give it a chop. Now, I will tell you that these stems, they are, like I said, this is a succulent vine. So when you have a succulent vine like this, you have this, I mean, it holds a lot of water. So you want to make sure that you get it in and you cook it, get it cooking, because it's going to take, the stems are going to take just a little bit longer. The spinach, of course, is going to just melt down into nothing. But the stems add so much texture. So really, the thing that I love about them, that they really add, is so many vitamins. That's the thing. A lot of this plant's nutrients are in this stem. So they have just so many wonderful properties. And I'm just going to go ahead and toss them right in. Just like that. Now I probably am going to add just a little bit more oil just to give these a good cook down. And you're just going to let it start wilting down. Reduce my heat just a little bit. And then to get rid of these stems. Great for the compost. You guys do have a compost, right? So important to throw your food scraps into a compost and not into the garbage. It just fills up the landfills. Kind of makes a big old mess. So all I'm doing is peeling a little bit of fresh fresh ginger. The ginger is really going to brighten this up. Here's my planer. So just run your ginger, I'm left-handed, right along your planer. And what that's going to do is just brighten it up. Like that. It's no big deal. Now to this, I'm going to go ahead and add my beans back in. I'm just making a huge mess today. Gorgeous. That ginger, wonderful. Now I'm going to go ahead and add my garlic. I don't want my garlic to burn, so I kind of add it a little later. Okay, a lot of garlic. We like a lot of garlic. I'm just going to add just a little bit more oil. Just a little more olive oil. That leaf got away. Kind of at the side of the pan, so it'll roll down into that center. And all you're going to do is for about 2 minutes is let this saute on a good medium-high heat. It's already beautiful, looking gorgeous. Just let it saute on a medium-high heat for 2 minutes. We'll be back, and then we're gonna bump this up just a little bit more. I'm gonna add a real bean. I'm gonna add another bean to this, and then a little bit of quinoa. It's gonna be beautiful. So come on back, give me a second. Let's cook this down. So we've got this saute, kind of a stir fry, really cooking. It's beautiful. It's really looking beautiful. But I want to add a few more things to this. The first thing I'm going to add is some edamame, and they're just immature soybeans, just to add another level of crunch. Because the thing about when you're talking about plant-based side dishes, any kind of side dishes like this or main meals, they need to be hearty, you know. So I really like to have these hearty side dishes or even main dishes to fill you up, especially when you're not eating any kind of meat or you're really kind of watching your carbs and your starches and all of those things. This needs to be hearty. Now I am going to add a little carb to this. This is quinoa, and if you haven't heard of quinoa before, it is in the amaranth family, and we grow a lot of amaranth here on the farm. Quinoa is actually a seed, not a grain, but it does have a little bit of carbs in them. Not a whole lot, but it's really nutritious, and it's just going to give this another layer. It's kind of got this really beautiful nutty flavor to it that's so delicious. Quinoa has been around for hundreds, if not thousands of years. It's from the Andes, and it's, you know, Chile. You really find a lot of it. It was really that sort of high in the mountains. Now, amaranth has to be thrashed like wheat because it has a hull, and so we can't do that here, but it makes a beautiful plant, so we grow a lot of it and we really enjoy it. Now to this, I'm going to add just a little bit more cumin, just a little bit more flavor here. I'm going to add a little bit of turmeric, and then I am going to add salt, a little more salt, a little rice wine vinegar, just to kind of cut through those greens a little bit. And then I'm going to add some pepper. This is a coarse pepper, which is my favorite. A little bit, because, you know, a lot of A little garlic's not enough. Got a little garlic powder right in there. A little onion powder right in there. And then I'm just going to give it a nice toss. The only thing left is adding a little bit of low sodium organic soy sauce. Just right in there. We'll give that a toss. And then we're going to get this plated. And I'm going to go and have lunch. So let me get this plated, and you can see just how beautiful this is. And then you can make this yourself. All right, so we're ready to plate up this beautiful sauteed stir-fry yard-long beans with this Malabar spinach. It's just such a gorgeous dish. It's so hearty and filling and healthy. This is really the crux of good, hyper-local food that you can feed your family, that comes straight from your local farmer. This is how you get these dishes like this. The only thing I want to do here is I want to add another seed, just a little bit of sesame seeds right on top, and just going to chop up a little bit of this fresh parsley. Just to garnish, because it's not like it's not beautiful enough, huh? Because it really, truly is. It's just a wonderful, easy dish. So this is a great recipe to use some of those vegetables that I got a leaf on my lip, that you may not be that familiar with here in the United States, but try them. Try all of it. When you find something in your FarmBox and your CSA or your local farmer's market and you're not sure what it is, ask the farmer, because let me tell you, as a farmer, you really learn how to cook all of these different vegetables in a lot of different ways. So they can probably give you lots of wonderful tips. Anyway, this for me is my lunch. So hope you enjoyed this recipe, and make sure that you subscribe to our channel so we can keep doing these little video recipes, this cooking demonstrations to help you guys with all of this local, fresh, organic produce to help. My whole thing is that people, bring a lot more vegetable, more plant-based diet back into their lives, because that is really where your health is going to be at the greatest. And so anyway, so hit that subscribe button. Make sure that you share this video with your friends. Tell them all about us. And we'll be back next week with a brand new recipe. Thank y'all so much. Bye, y'all.